My first question is how you feel Bulgaria, why you decide to come back again in Bulgaria.
Well, I love the music from your beautiful country and the people, something special with the people. People are very relaxed here. Some countries I go, people are very uptight and tense, and people are relaxed here, and people have the soul of music. And so I've loved Bulgaria from the first time I came here, which was maybe 15 years ago or something. I remember coming on the Christmas time, somewhere around 26th of December.
Yeah.
And it was quite cold. There was snow around the place and stuff, and we almost missed the plane because of the fucking snow. And and I had a friend who was often in England called Mincho Minchev. He was one of my first Bulgarian friends. Now, of course, I have many Bulgarian friends, which make me even more happy to come back.
Yeah, you have a big reason to come back again and again.
Very good reasons, because for instance, this orchestra, wonderful musicians in the orchestra we're playing with here. Georgi Andreev is a new friend of mine, and a big reason to carry on coming back, because he's such a naturally immensely talented musician. So, it's wonderful being here.
Okay, thank you. When you hear Bulgaria, which are the three things that come in your mind?
Number one, Stilian Petrov, who was the great player who played for Aston Villa.
Yeah, your favorite football team.
Yes, yeah, and we're playing horrible now. It's not as good as when Petrov was playing with us. And what I love about him is how much he did for other people when he was suffering so much himself. He not just thought of himself, he was thinking about other people, opening this foundation for children. And, most people, if they've got a really threatening disease like that, they would only think me, but no, he had a much bigger heart. Yeah. Wonderful example, not just to football players, but to people in general, I think. So that's number one. Yeah. Then the second contact I had with Bulgaria, but before I came here, was the Voices of Bulgaria, which used to be the state TV choir, and they were working with Kate Bush, and I was hanging with Kate Bush a lot.
You mean the Mystery of Bulgarian Voices?
That's it, yes. And it was just I was in a small room, a fraction of the size of this, just in somebody's living room, and they started singing, and it just shook the room, my heart, everything, So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is Bulgarian audiences, because people understand music here, and that's not... I don't mind if people understand music or not, but for a musician, it's wonderful to play for people who do understand music.
Yeah.
It just means the communication is stronger.
Yeah. Okay. What is your sense of Balkan and Balkan music and the Bulgarian music in particular? Do you think there's something special in our music, and what do you think it is?
It's a funny mix of Eastern influence and beautiful melody, which can just stay from generation to generation. I think some of the most wonderful music has never really been written down, and coming from a jazz and classical background, where everything is kind of written, it's wonderful to hear these melodies which have been existing for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and the quality of the melody is what keep it alive,
Yeah.
So this is what I think is the special aspect of Bulgarian music, and one can say about the rest of Balkan music, it has a similar quality to that, that even if it's not Bulgarian, like something, let's say, Ardiano, which is not particularly Bulgarian, but it has this thing that people have been singing it for so many generations, and it still speaks just as strong now.
Yeah. Okay. What inspires you when you play Vivaldi, and why did you decide to make a new interpretation of the first season?
It's an interesting question, man, because
I've
played it so much, man, this Vivaldi.
Yeah.
But there's always energy in this music, you
Yes.
know? It's got such high contrast and exuberant energy, which will always attract me back. And I've lived longer, I've had more musical experiences. I think I'm a better band leader now. I'm better at working with orchestras now. I'm better at communicating with audiences now because I've had experience. I'm not nervous about music. I just feel very lucky to be doing it. And so then I can speak with my heart in a broader but also more direct way. So then I thought it is worth coming back to this repertoire and giving it my experience and love of music, what I have now, which is more than I ever had before. You know, it's not one of those jobs playing music where you get tired of it, like maybe working in a factory or something. You'd think after 15, 20 years you don't want to do it no more. With music you get more hunger as time goes by.
It's like this interpretation for me is like a book, a pretty good book, and it sounds different when you read it when you're younger and when you're older.
I think that is true, you know, and with music I think there has to be, if it's going to be good music, it has to have a narrative.
Yeah.
You know, there is a story to everything.
Exactly.
Even Bach, which is considered the most serious music ever.
Do you feel yourself? Do you understand yourself like a narrator of the things that Vivaldi wants to tell to people with his music?
I feel like I'm as if, for instance, I very much admire Laurence Olivier and how he did Shakespeare, and I think a musician is in the same position as that you have this amazing text, but the interpretation is still a very strong factor in this, and it's a responsibility and a joy of the musician to be able to share this wonderful story with colleagues and audience. You know, I think it's really, I love doing it. You know?
Okay. It's connected with my second question. When you play, do you imagine paintings or pictures inspired by the music?
Well, with Vivaldi, because he has these poems which he wrote. He wrote the poems later. You know, it's very strange. He wrote the poems after he wrote the concertos, but he did it as a marketing thing, you know? So it's just a clever idea. He wrote all of these concertos as separate concertos, and he thought, well, why don't I put these motherfuckers together and make like an album, really, you know, but in the 1700s, early 1700s. So, you know, there is a definite story. I see these pictures. When I was younger and maybe I was short of inspiration from the music directly, then I'd think about the poems, and this was just helping me bring it alive.